This is part 2 of the Universal Screener training for kindergarten through 2nd grade educators. In this module, you will learn the format of the assessment, information about the 4 subtests that make up the complete Universal Screener, how to administer it, where to locate important resources to guide you in administering the screener. The TEMI PM assesses numeracy skills, so you will see that the subtests have parts related to fundamental number operations and quantitative reasoning skills, and skills that are fundamental to broad-based mathematics proficiency. A reminder that you are giving this to the whole group. It's paper, pencil, which will be provided for you. The student booklets will be printed and given to you. There are 4 subtests. Each one is about 2 minutes, but when you factor in the time to give demonstrations and practice and transition, it's about 30 minutes total. There are 3 forms, so this first one for the fall, you will be using Form A, and you are giving this to all of your students. The format is similar for kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, but the subtests are slightly different. So for kindergarten, your 4 subtests are number identification, quantity recognition, magnitude comparisons, and number sequences. When you move to 1st grade, some of them stay the same. They just increase in the value of the number. But you have addition, subtraction, combinations, place value now, but just tens and ones, number sequences, and magnitude comparisons. In 2nd grade, you still have addition, subtraction, combinations. Place value has moved to hundreds, tens, and ones, number sequences, and magnitude comparisons. This is an example of what your page might look like in kindergarten. So each subtest has a demonstration page for you to put under the document camera or to go over with your learners before they start the timed portion of the test. So this is an example of the magnitude comparison. They will circle the bigger number or both numbers if they are the same. An example from 1st grade, the number sequences, they will circle the missing number. And an example from 2nd grade with place value, and they will write the number that tells how many in all. At the top of each page, there are pictures as page markers to help your learners who are non-readers follow along with where you are in the test booklet when you are giving directions. At the bottom of the page, there are stop signs or arrows to tell them to keep going or to stop at certain points. That's something you just want to be aware of while you're monitoring them, taking the assessment, making sure that they are continuing to turn the page if there is an arrow, and that they are making sure to stop if there is a stop sign. And this is just another example that shows the arrows. Some helpful tips are, like I said, help them turn the pages as needed. Set 2 timers ahead of time. So when you're doing the practice, you're giving them 30 seconds. And when you're doing the actual assessment, you're giving them 2 minutes. So it might be helpful to have 2 different timers there, but you at least need one to be able to time the assessment. If you sense that there's a very high level of frustration from one learner, have him or her stop, assess them in a smaller group later with the same instructions and format, but you want to make sure that they're provided a testing environment that's comfortable, and if it's very frustrating to them at that moment, you want to get true data, so make sure just to assess them at a different time. Some other helpful tips are to have them put their pencils in the air so they all begin at the same time. Make sure that they're turning the page when they come to an arrow and stopping when they get to a stop sign, and make sure that they're just not continuing past the 2-minute time limit. To prepare for the assessment, you will need the testing manual. You can download it. I will show you where to find it. You can download it to your iPad and have that with you while you're carrying it around, or the printed version that will be provided for you. You will need the directions for the subtest. Those are located in the manual, and demonstration pages to put under the document camera, located as the first page in the student booklet. So they'll be able to see it with you, but you may want an extra copy under the document camera to point to. And you will need a timer. Learners will just need pencil and the student booklet, which will be printed and given to you. Where do I access the information and resources for the assessment? This is going back to the Coppell Intervention Services public Google folder that we mentioned in part 1. So when you go there, and if you remember, we navigate to the RTI2 folder, we go to math, and we go to the appropriate grade level, and we go to the universal screener document. If for some reason you did need to print a new test booklet, remember Form A is for the fall. Choose your appropriate grade level, and you could click on that and you could print another one if needed. If you need another teacher's manual, you can do that as well. And the scoring forms and the intervention sheet we will get to in the next couple of modules for how to score it and what to look for with your data. But for the administration portion, you would just need the teacher's manual and the student booklet. They are provided in Spanish here if you need to download that, but you'll notice that most of the assessment is just strictly numbers. However, if you want the word stop to be in Spanish, or you would like to read the directions in Spanish, you can use those links there. And more information will come about giving it in Spanish and with which learners and that sort of thing for our dual language campuses. So just take a moment, reflect, see if you can find the Intervention Services Public Google folder, see if you can locate the math-specific universal screener page. Try downloading the teacher's manual, try downloading a student booklet, just look through it and familiarize yourself with it, and then ask yourself, do I know how to locate the needed materials and resources, and do I understand how to administer this assessment? When you go to those resources and look at the teacher's manual, it specifically tells you word for word what to say when you are administering, so it is pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, we are happy to help. You've completed part 2 of the Universal Screener training, so continue to modules 3 and 4 in your Schoology course, and then there will be a short little quiz after.